Welcome once again as we bring you exciting MCLA lacrosse action. Tonight's game features the number 4 ranked Brigham Young University Cougars hosting the number 20 ranked Lions from the University of Lindenwood. I'm Marty Westcott and welcome once again to the campus of Brigham Young University. We're coming to you live nationally on BYU TV and we have a fantastic evening for lacrosse. It's Parents and Alumni Weekend and we've got a great game lined up. Joining me once again in the booth, as always, is the Hall of Famer Charlie Friedman. And Charlie, BYU comes in ranked number 4, losing only to the top 3 teams in the country.
Well, they're all very good teams. I think BYU has earned its ranking at 4, but seedings is so important for the national tournament right now. They really need to hold on to that spot.
And Lindenwood coming in ranked number 20, maybe that's a little misleading.
It is low. Lindenwood is a talented team, and this could be a trap game. The Cougars have to come in really focused. Lindenwood is a very skilled team, very, very good handle on the ball.
They've got an international presence, and that international presence really led by Jonathan Diplock, number 23.
From Nanaimo, British Columbia, where they play primarily box lacrosse. I love watching box lacrosse players, which is typically played in a hockey arena in very, very tight quarters, out on the big field because they operate so well in tight space. He's a talented player that can shoot and pass and feed.
BYU's really going to have to be on top of their defensive game to control those international players. And speaking of the BYU defense, they've had a resurgence of late. And to talk about that is the former assistant coach, Paul Henderson. And Paul, that resurgence has really been led by the goalkeeper, number 8, Christian Kikamoto.
Absolutely. Christian Kikamoto is the senior goaltender for the Cougars. He is just an unbelievable talent out of the Denver area. And the defense is starting to play a little bit better surrounding him. He's kept the Cougars in a lot of tight games this year. And we'll watch for him to play very well tonight.
I know in the preseason, Coach Lamb felt that he was a little bit undervalued, underestimated, but he has kept him in close games. Colorado College comes to mind. Join us on the sideline is Jerem Jordan. And Jerem, I know BYU's had a little bit of problem playing on TV this year. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, they're 0-2, and tonight's the last game on the BYU Sports Network. They want some redemption after not getting a win so far. Elliot Groh and Josh Austin from the Cougars told me that they tend to notice that opposing teams know when they're going to be on TV, and they bring a better game, and sometimes the younger Cougars even have a tendency to look up at the camera and pay attention to that. So tonight, BYU hopes to get their first and only victory on the BYU Sports Network. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jerem. We have got a beautiful evening for lacrosse with the parents and alumni in attendance. The crowd's going to be great. We've got a great matchup on the field. You're not going to want to miss it. Stick with us. We're going to be right back with the starting lineups right after this. Hey, welcome back to the Army Turf Field here on the campus of Brigham Young University. It's a beautiful evening and a little bit of a breeze. It's giving a little chill in the air, but otherwise we've got a great night for lacrosse. Let's take a look at the starters here for both teams, starting with the Lindenwood Lions.
Yeah, Nix and Diplock. We talked about Diplock at the opening. Really looking forward to watching him play. Giaminetti, Corsald, Stewart, Aris, Bathke, Miners, Mertzluft, Schroeder, and Jennings. Real good bunch. Very talented stick-wise. And it's a young group, too. I expect this team to really come out game tonight.
Again, Charlie, loaded with international talent. There's a look at Coach Troy Hood in his 5th season. Played a Division I ball when Michigan State had a Division I team. So he's done a great job. We had a great conversation with him prior to the game, and really excited in leading his Lindenwood team in here tonight. I think they're excited about the opportunity, the exposure that they'll get playing on TV and playing against top-ranked teams. So taking a look at the starting lineup for BYU, Paul?
Yeah, attack, we got Austin, Heyer, and Manning, all averaging unbelievable numbers for this year. We dropped on a Nagley, Groh, Farron, and Crawford, taking the spot of Murphy Smith. Sabi Cone and Sabi, the Sabi brothers, walking down the defense, and we talked about Christian Kikamoto at the open. A little bit of a younger team, but boy, they get up and down the field, and they're going to look to push the pace today.
You've got some freshmen in there, and Manning and Farron. You can take a look there at Coach Lamb in his 14th season. Again, one of the kind of stalwarts here in the MCLA and the growth of lacrosse at the MCLA level and at the collegiate club level has been one of the leaders of that throughout. And, just a great guy. All of us have had the association with him for a long time. So good to know Coach Lamb, and they're looking forward to it today. We've got a senior night presentation for the seniors, as some of the seniors you can see running onto the field, and they'll have a presentation at halftime for those seniors. And Coach Lamb always appreciates that. And at BYU, there's a unique situation where you don't get a lot of seniors due to missions and different priorities that kids have. I mean, a lot of kids at BYU obviously getting married, and so they don't finish out. And so if you make it as a senior, that's a great accomplishment. So I'll take a look at some of the keys to the game here for both teams. There's a good look at Britton Cone. starter on the defense there, sophomore out of Maryland.
Hey, the defense ought to be well fed tonight.
They had a nice meal, pregame meal there, Charlie.
I took the defense out to a pregame meal on Alumni weekend.
So if they don't play well, we can blame you. Is that it?
Where'd you take them, Charlie?
No, I brought sandwiches in. I brought sandwiches in from Gandolfo's Sandwiches.
Gandolfo's
Gandolfo's New York Deli.
Great supporter of BYU Lacrosse.
Yeah, always have been, and I fed them pretty good. I gave them a lot of soda. Could that be a problem?
You can take a look here at the keys of the game, Charlie, for Lindenwood.
Well, ability to clear. When you're playing BYU, clearing the ball is key because BYU's ride is relentless. It's improved over the year, and I'm looking forward to seeing it tonight. And BYU's going to shoot the ball. They always get a lot of shots. So the goalie's response is going to be really important here.
As we're about ready to face off here, that's Watterson for BYU. And number 26, Lawson, freshman out of British Columbia for Lindenwood. And BYU comes up with the face-off. Keys of the game for BYU, Paul?
And one of the keys of the game is what we saw right there, is winning those face-offs. BYU wants to spend a lot of time on the offense. And, of course, their team defense. They gave up a lot of goals early in the season, but in the last 5 games have really clamped down, giving up about 9 goals a game.
Josh Austin handles for BYU. Over to Justin Heyer as they get their first midfield unit on of Elliot Groh, Steve Nagley, and Jake Farron coming back on for BYU. Attack, moving the ball around. And now Josh Austin gets it into the defense, defended there by number 20, Mertzluff. Mertzluff deflects the ball. Austin trying to pick up the ground ball, almost beats it out of bounds. And BYU's going to come up to the loose ball, push. It's going to stay with them. Mertzluff with the push on Austin, loose ball. And Austin over to Manning. Manning defended there by Miners for Lindenwood. And Elliot Groh handles up to Jake Farron. Steve Nagley, been more effective than last couple games Nagley has, scoring 2 and 3 goals apiece.
You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea for BYU to hold on to the ball on offense right now. And I'll tell you why, because that sun is absolutely beating in the eyes of Christian Kikamoto right now. It is brutal. It is absolutely at the wrong height for the keeper on the east end of the field right now.
Elliot Groh with a nice take there and backed up well by BYU. And on the horn, Lindenwood with some substitutions. BYU keeping their first offensive unit on. Again, Manning defended there by Miners. Manning coming around, get to the island. Manning with a high shot. Backed up well there by Heyer. And Heyer's going to have his first chance, defended there by Schrader, number 8 for the Lions.
Boy, Manning got a lot of space in the middle of the field right there. I think Lindenwood's going to need to slide a lot faster to prevent goals today.
Let's toss to Jerem Jordan over on the sideline just a minute, talk about some of these seniors for BYU. Jerem?
Yeah, before the game, I talked to Coach Lamb about the importance and presence that these 3 seniors have had on the program, and the 3 are Corby Bivens, Christian Kikamoto, and Josh Austin. With Bivens, he said he came from a small lacrosse background in Las Vegas where they didn't really play all that much about 7 years ago, but he's worked very hard. He's made a lot of the new guys on the team feel good, and he received the most votes from his team for team captain, and that's saying a lot for a non-member at BYU, and so he's made quite an impact. Christian Kikamoto, he's the only goalie in BYU history who's returned after winning a national championship, and he's been the most consistent of any player on the team, Lamb said. No variation, consistently good. Josh Austin, the most reliable player on the team on offense, and he's having his best season as you see BYU get a goal right there.
Thanks, Jerem. And yeah, that was Jake Farron with the assist from Elliot Groh. Assist from Elliot Groh is a familiar phrase to BYU this year.
Well, Elliot created just an absolute lane for Jake there by beating his man top left, top right. A great roll dodge, and it was a fantastic feed. Jake was able to finish that.
Hey guys, and just as we highlighted the seniors there, that's a sophomore to a freshman, as we talked about at the beginning. Was a very young team for BYU.
There's a great shot there by Farron, off stick side right on the hip. That's the toughest save for any goalie to make. And we're going to get an illegal procedure on Lindenwood. That's number 26, Lawson, freshman out of BC. And Watterson gets it down to, that's Mikkel Walker, number 48, gets to the attack. Manning slows it down as the second midfield unit for BYU comes on. Cotterill, number 9, Grant Cotterill out of Alta High School, comes on. Chris Weinberger, number 22, freshman out of Jordan High School, getting some time on the second midfield line. And Brian Matheny, number 25, out of Heritage High School in Littleton, Colorado, another freshman. So again, young group out there, 2 freshmen. Grant Cotterill, here goes Matheny, down to the right wing. Didn't have an angle, gives up to Manning. Manning kind of forced that in the middle there. And yeah, the Lindenwood player was offsides.
Wow,
okay?
absolutely.
I think he misread the line. He was over the blue line. I think he was looking at the white line, but he was well over that blue line. That was a good call by the officials. Grant Cotterill looking to the crease to Weinberger. Oh, Weinberger was looking for that shot, and there really isn't a shot that Weinberger doesn't like. He's one of those consummate shooters.
You know, this game couldn't have started any better for BYU. Obviously, Charlie, like you mentioned, the sun in Kikimoto's eyes. You know, they win a couple of face-offs. They've had a couple of very good possessions down here on the offensive end.
Yeah, I agree. I think Lindenwood's going to need to get a little more active on the defense. They seem to they're just not moving well on defense, and it's creating lanes for BYU. So far, they've been able to exploit it.
Manning again defended by Miners there. Manning's getting around that corner. Lots of time. Nice roll dodge back to the side with the left. Flips it back to Austin. Austin, one more to Hire. Hire defended there by number 16, Wisniewski. Hire sneaks it in there. Wow, that's a nice shot.
That's the kind of stuff that Hire can do. It's just special.
You can take a look at this here. He rolls back to the outside towards Gilly and then just sneaks his stick right back around. And puts it right near pipe. The goalie just was not on his pipe. You can see it just goes right by Jennings there. Nice goal there by Justin Hire. BYU takes an early lead, 2-0. 11-14 left here in the quarter. And BYU coming up with another faceoff. Mikael Walker controlling for BYU.
Boy, take it right into the hole there.
Really had an opportunity to get to Manning over on the opposite side. Decided just to slow it down.
Yeah, it's smart. It is smart. You got a quick lead. Smart to control the ball right now.
Austin finding Hire. Oh, that's deadly. Woo.
Wow.
Lindenwood with the weak slide, leaving Hire at the corner, and BYU out early 3-0.
You know, I can see Lindenwood defense really trying to slide early to try and stop that initial dodge, but what they're not doing is filling in on the backside, and, you know, we see there Hire with a wide open goal.
And you can see here, Justin, just wide open right there. That's a goal every time. Josh Austin trying the double team, dodging with his head up and finding Hire at the corner.
Boy, Lindenwood is just desperate for an offensive possession right now.
Oh, there's a nice play there by Chris West, number 20. Kind of kicked it behind himself, was able to pick up the ground ball. So nice athletic play there by West, gets the face-off, and he's going straight to the goal.
Should.
Shoot that a little bit lower and it goes in, but it's a nice play there by Chris West.
Ride is so relentless that it's going to be a long day if they're not going to be able to move that ball upfield.
There's that shot there by West. Nice save there by Jennings, number 7. And Mertzlef just not able to clear the ball, like you said, Paul. Going against 2 BYU riders, and BYU's been relentless in their ability to ride. Here comes Hire. Controlling, gets it up to Farron, the first midfield line for BYU. Back on the field, Elliot Groh now up top. Defended there by number 35, Bathke, the long stick midfielder for the Lions. And here's Josh Austin. Again, defended by Mertzlef, number 20.
Nice first step.
Oh, and Austin.
Wow.
Went in, I thought it was on the outside.
So did I.
That's a nice shot. Austin gets a little bit of a step on Mertzlef, just takes it to the corner.
He got buried by Schrader after that goal, too.
Puts it right by Jennings. Take a look here at the replay. Just gets the step. And you can see there, it's a nice play by Austin where he takes the step away, right there, where he took the step away. It gives him just that half a second to get that shot off before he gets nailed. So a nice play there by Josh Austin, and BYU up early and big, 4-0, less than 5 minutes into this game.
And still without a Lindenwood possession.
No possession on offense, no shots, not even into the restraining box.
I don't think they've won a face.
And BYU 4 for 5 shooting. So a good omen for BYU, not so good for Lindenwood coming out in this game. And Lindenwood catching BYU when they're really just starting to hit their stride this year. They've probably played their 3 best games of the year, the last 3 games.
Great pass.
Here's Ryan McCumber going back up top. Oh, is trying to find number 4, Jason Wernley. Couldn't quite make the handle, and the ball goes out of bounds. So BYU will get their defensive midfield unit in. Chris West coming in. Pat Matheson coming in, number 34. And We'll see how Lindenwood handles the pressure that BYU is going to put on the ride. Again, Mertzleth, number 20. Was looking for number 5. Oh, and there's a nice check there by Manning. The goal's open.
Great
here
look.
Here comes
look.
Higher. Oh,
great
and oh my goodness, Higher to Manning.
That's pretty.
But that, again, that was the ride that created that goal.
Absolutely.
The ride that created that goal.
Hey, the passing on the back end wasn't too bad either.
BYU with a nice ride, able to get that deflection, and some really nifty passing here by the BYU attack. Everybody in the stadium thinking Higher's going to take that one, and just passes to his teammate Manning, who just dunks it right over the goalie.
Yeah, and a great job by Manning. Realizes that there's no need to really possess the ball there. There's an open cage, and just use a quick release out of your stick.
So BYU in the early goings of this game up 5-0, and that just is not a good omen for Lindenwood at this point. Take a look here at some of the players during the BYU timeout. The next broadcast for BYU TV, men's volleyball, BYU versus the University of Southern California. That's tomorrow night at 7, live on BYU TV and KBYU local here in the Utah area. And the men's volleyball team, an outstanding program. I believe they're ranked 2 in the country right now.
I believe they are. This is a big weekend for them against USC.
So they've got a big weekend national tournament coming up in the next couple of weeks. So they're looking to increase their seeding and really go for another national championship. I believe they've won 2 or 3 national championships. So take a look here. Jerem Jordan on the sideline. What's up, Jerem?
It's really cold outside. I know you guys have had to bundle up, everybody and myself included, but BYU off to a hot start, but it didn't start that way this year. They started 2-3 with 3 of their 4 losses coming against those top 3 teams, and BYU has really turned it around. A couple of factors have played into that, according to Coach Jason Lamb. The fact that they only returned half of their starters, guys were just kind of adjusting to their roles, and they found them. They had some wrong people in some wrong places, so they mixed that up. They adjusted their defensive look. They've been more confident and consistent, not to mention that some of the other teams are better too. Elliot Gross said, we were divided into offense and defense, but now they're a team, and when you start losing, obviously you've got to mix things up. And Josh Austin said, because we won the national championship, some people thought they would just roll over people. That wasn't the way, and I might add, everyone wants to beat the defending national champions as well, but BYU picking up steam here at the end of the year. Back to you.
Thanks, Jerem, and that's true. I've had similar conversations with the coaches, and I think they've had an attitude adjustment and really improved their game. Again, Lindenwood with no offensive possessions. They had a clear opportunity there, just were not able to convert with it, and BYU able to send it the other way. Grant Cotterill now bringing it back in the box, but you can't win games, Paul, with no possession.
Absolutely not. I mean, we haven't seen one Lindenwood possession yet, and it's got to be discouraging for their players.
As a defenseman, you don't mind that, do you, Charlie?
Actually, you do, because you want to play. I mean, that's the point of coming out. It creates frustration in the defense as well as in the attack to have the ball constantly at the other end of the field. And I mean, they've got to feel pretty good with the 5-0 cushion. But believe me, the defense is getting a little antsy too.
So here's Manning going against number 11, Gleisner. Tries to get the ball upfield, and Steve Nagley just didn't quite release quick enough when Elliot Grove picked up the ball. Was still in contact there with number 47.
There's a good chance for Lindenwood to move up real quick and get an unsettled clear.
And tried to go through too many guys there.
You can't run it through the teeth of the ride.
Jake Farron can't pick it up. Ball's down on the ground again. Josh Austin spinning through that hit. And coming up with is Dan Crawforth. Dan Crawforth can shoot it. He's a former attackman. And Dan Crawford's an interesting story. That converted attackman, and he's now the first-team long pole with Murphy Smith out for BYU. And again, no possession for Lindenwood. So Austin settles it down as the first midfield line coming on for BYU. Nagley, Farron, and oh, that's a sloppy pass. See if Farron can save it. He's able to.
Now he's got to get it in the box.
Jordan McKenzie in for BYU as Elliot Grove takes a run out. Nagley defended there by Bathke, number 35, taken away. So nice checks there by Bathke. Good defensive position. Good job by Nagley to hold him up. BYU able to pick up that ground ball. And Jordan McKenzie able to pick up the ground ball, but right to the Lindenwood player. That's number 11, Gleisner. Gleisner can't clear it. Ball still on the ground. And Lindenwood, for the first time, gets it into the box, and they're going to get a loose ball push. So it's going to go back to Lindenwood. They're going to have their first possession with 6 minutes left here in the first quarter, 6:25 to be exact.
Now, they have a golden opportunity to shoot right now. That's what I would, if I were Coach Hood, that's what I would be telling him.
And it's the sun factor, like you mentioned before.
Absolutely, it's the sun factor. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the subject of this timeout.
We're going to take a quick break here. We're going to be right back. BYU leads in the early going 5-0. Stick with us. Hey, and welcome back. We're about to get ready to go here, and Lindenwood's going to have their first offensive possession. We're going to see what they can do with it. Starting with the ball is going to be Stuart Adam, another Canadian out of Saskatchewan. Gets it over to Corsall, number 13. Over to Diplock, number 23. Controlling behind is Giametti. Back up to Stewart. Controlling up top is Corsall, number 13, going against number 7, Carl Arnold, playing long stick midfield. Oh, there's a shot. And again, Charlie, they went right to the cage. First opportunity.
I mean, Kikamoto can't be playing at higher than like a 75% of his normal level of play right now, just because that sun is brutal.
You just can't see. It's right in his eyes.
Here we go again, another dodge.
Corsall again.
Yeah, I sure would.
It's a nice stick fake there by Corsall. The shot looks pretty, but just was not really that effective.
Yeah, there's a place for the behind the back shot. I mean, behind the back shot, especially if you can control the shot, will increase your angle. It'll give you a better angle into the goal. It's a coached play as long as you got a handle on it.
So Corsall over to Harris, number 5, controlling for the Lions. Just down to Giametti. Over to Diplock, number 23, recently moved to attack from midfield. Harris over to Stewart. Back to Giametti, defended there by Paul Saby, number 3. And there's the Saby brothers. Tyler and Paul, 13 and 3. Ball still loose there in the pile. And controlling this Harrison 5 for Lindenwood. Corsall with a nice pass over to Diplock. Diplock gets checked by Saby. Coming up is Pat Matheson. Big Pat Matheson out of Olympus High School, freshman for BYU. He's got a big-time shot. And he slows it down. Gets it to his attack, Manning.
I think BYU's come out with a really great game plan today. You know, I think I see him playing a little bit more settled than I have in the past. You know, they get down to the offense, the attack, and they're telling everybody to slow down a little bit, let's work it around, get our offensive guys on, and, you know, obviously it's working 5-0.
So getting the first midfield unit on of Groh, Farron, and Nagley. Nobody's covering Groh, that's not good. Bathke now picks him up, the long stick midfielder. Jake Farron handles the pass, McLean defending him. Farron trying to go back to Groh. Groh always picking up the long stick midfielder from every team. He's used to it, he's been doing it for years. Tried to go with the pass back to Heyer. Couldn't quite get it to him. Heyer defended there by 2 Lions. Mertzliff coming up, that's number 49, Frizella. Now there's a penalty.
Get a smash on Heyer.
Let's see what they call here. They're calling the hold, so it's going to be a technical. Technical 30 seconds rather than the minute personal. BYU's giving man down 4 minute. Their man down's been very stingy this year.
Yeah, that's true. They have had an exceptional man-down unit. You know, we talked a little bit about the coaching adjustments that the Cougars have made this year, which they've really had to do in virtually every aspect of their game, except for the man-down. Right from the start of the season, they've been extraordinarily effective.
That may have a large part to do with Christian Kikamoto in the goal.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Just playing out of his mind this year.
really, really good, which surprises a lot of people given the number of goals to Chapman and Arizona State, and Whittier hung on the Cougs. A lot of people assumed that Kikamoto wasn't having a good year. The fact of the matter is that it could have been a lot worse in those games if Kikamoto hadn't been on his game.
So now the Lions throwing around the perimeter. Corsalt number 13, some nice movement. Oh, there's a nice little play there.
That looked like a box influence.
That was
pass
really
there,
did.
Charlie.
It really did.
That was Dieterle out of British Columbia.
Yeah, absolutely. Those
There's
guys
Stewart.
were so well in tight.
There's some nice movement there. Giamenetti for the Lions putting that one in, and that was some nice movement. You could certainly see the stick work influence there from the box game.
Yeah, what's really interesting sometimes to watch when there are box players on the field is how well they play with their offhand. It's so tight in that hockey arena when they're playing box that a lot of times there just isn't time to play with both hands. So they end up being very, very strong on their strong side. Very talented on that, and just suffering on their weak side.
The smart play there by Giamenetti, how he had his stick high and just shot low rather than shooting high right into Kikamoto's stick or dropping his stick, which is what a lot of players do is they drop their stick. Goalies taught to match stick for stick, and they can come up with it. So shooting from high to low was a great move there. Now Watterson coming up with another face-off for BYU, really dominating the face-off X. Gets it up to number 6, Justin Heyer, and steps in the box. BYU settles it down as they substitute Wernley. Stick checked Austin there, and Josh playing very well as of late and has had a really strong senior year so far.
And had a honor this week as the MCLA Player of the Week.
So congratulations to Josh Austin for that. And he's been playing a really high level the last couple of games. So Elliot Groh settles it down for BYU, defended there by Bathke. Austin defended there by number 20. Miners. Heyer ends up with it. Jerem Jordan on the sideline. Jerem, what you got?
Yeah, although Lindenwood is down early in this one, 5-1, they've had relative success on the season, and in the past couple of years, they've won their conference, the Great Rivers Lacrosse Conference, the last 4 or 5 years. They were able to beat Sonoma State last year in overtime, and they hung with Oregon in the MCLA championships, and so in the first round they lost to Oregon, who eventually lost to BYU in the title game. So they've had some relative success and are hoping to continue that. And I'm told, like a lot of road teams that BYU plays on BYU TV, a couple of gatherings at Bellacino's and Buffalo Wild Wings, which I wouldn't mind being there, in St. Charles, Missouri tonight. And so a shout out to the Lindenwood Lions friends and alumni gathered there.
We welcome them as we welcome the BYU alumni as well for the alumni weekend and the annual alumni game, which will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. if you want to see some old guys who think they can still play but really can't. And you can see the effect of the sun there, Charlie.
It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
Giamenetti couldn't even see it, ducked his head.
Yeah, hey, Bellacino sounds pretty good too.
Sure does, guys.
Yeah, I like that.
I think both of you guys will be strapping it on tomorrow, is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'll be there. I'll be there, Paul.
Yeah, we got our big alumni game tomorrow. We're going to show these guys how to play this game.
Or not how to play, one of the two. Either way, they'll have an example.
I haven't made it across the restraining line in an alumni game for about 5 years. I want to try to bring it across the midline this year.
And Diplock can't handle for Lindenwood. A nice push there by Tyler Saby to get it up. Higher, crossfield to Manning.
Nice move.
And there's a nice move by Manning. Nice shot, but yeah, right to the keeper.
Put that on the ground.
And Jennings throws that one away.
Well, they're really getting spooked in their clearing game. It just doesn't seem that Lindenwood has any answer right now for BYU's right.
Giamenetti losing that ball out of bounds. It's going to go to Paul Saby, number 3. He'll take that, but very ineffective in their clearing. And BYU gets it right back. So Lindenwood's really their only opportunity this first quarter was that man up. They took advantage of it. Otherwise, they've had no possession.
Maybe 2 minutes of possession in this first quarter.
Now Jeremy Rife controls for BYU. Defended there by number 30, Graham Perkins. Gets it up to Manning. Manning over to Josh Austin. Gets it up to Heyer. So BYU getting their third line midfield in. You got Rich Morey, number 1. Jeremy Rife, number 26. Oh,
Great
boy,
look.
there's a nice look.
Beautiful look.
Number 2, Mark Manning.
Boy, Manning and Heyer really starting to understand each other's game.
And there's the horn for the first quarter. So, yeah, just as you mentioned, Charlie, that attack is really coming together. They're really starting to understand each other, and the three of them, Austin, Manning, and Heyer, are just looking very dangerous every time they handle the ball. So
Yeah,
BYU.
I don't know who you give the top pull to. I mean, who do you leave open there?
Nobody.
Yeah, you can. You can.
We're going to take a quick break. Hey, stick with us. We've got a great game. We're going to be right back right after this. Hey, welcome back. You can see the beautiful mountains there of the Wasatch and the campus of Brigham Young University. We've got nice snow-capped mountains as we have had some inclement weather this week, 2 days worth of snow, and it's been a nice day today. Sunny, but a little chilly. There's Watterson now on the fast break for BYU. Gets it over to Austin.
Absolutely.
And boy, that is just
Absolutely
beautiful.
how you draw that up. That was a perfectly executed fast break.
You just can't do it any better than that.
Oh, man, I hope all the kids were watching there. What do you think, Paul?
I think Coach just talked to Neil Watterson and told him stop sitting on the ball and raking it behind himself. He thought he probably could beat him forward, which is exactly what he did right there.
That was a beautiful push forward by Watterson. Gets it over to Austin to Heyer and in the goal. So we're going to face off again. There's Watterson facing off for BYU. And it looks like number 46, Wyatt for, I'm sorry, that was 44. Papa, nice to see you. Did I get that one right?
I think you did.
Parents are probably at home cursing me, but we'll keep trying. And there's Austin controlling for BYU. Again, BYU winning the faceoff. So my recollection is Lindenwood has won one faceoff so far here in the game. And now Elliot Groh coming on.
I don't think we've talked about Elliot Groh much this game, but it's an unbelievable season from the midfield. Usually you don't see a midfielder with as many assists as he has this year.
Yeah, he is.
He's 4-1 on assists right now. How many points does he have? Low 50s?
Yeah. And 35 assists, something like that.
Exactly. I actually think it's a little bit more. I think he only has 10 goals.
There's a nice
See
look
right
by
there.
Groh. And oh, my goodness.
Wow.
BYU's offense is just looking sharp as could be. Elliot Groh to Austin with a nice little dodge over to Manning on the corner, who just flips it in.
I'm starting to understand the scores of the Colorado and Colorado State games last weekend. I wasn't personally there, just saw the box scores, but boy, I'm starting to see the Cougars turning on at the right time of the season.
You know, the decision making is incredible. They're just finding the open lanes and the open men. Another thing that's impressive is the pace of the passes that are coming through there. It just gives the defense no time to react.
Well, the thing that I like there about Manning, how he finished, is he caught it just enough. A lot of times, young players try and bat it in like a tennis racket, you know, Clayne Murphy style.
Yeah.
And
we'll see Clayne tomorrow.
I hope to.
With his tennis racket. He plays with a super light 2.
Oh, it's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
It's a super light 2 that is strung so tight that his daughter could play with it in her girls' league.
But it was so nice to see Manning just soft hands, caught it, and put it right back in, all in a split second.
Hey, but here's the thing. Clayne, even with that stick, he put a lot of goals in.
Clayne scored more goals not moving than anybody I've ever seen in my
Well,
life.
he claims that in his senior year, you know, we don't have stats from back then. That would have been like 1990. But he claims in his senior year he averaged 6 points a game, and he believes that Elliot Groh is the first player since then to challenge him for a 6-point-a-game average. I keep hearing that. I work with him. I hear it like every day.
And you'll probably continue to hear it.
Yeah, I probably will.
Here's Corsalt with a nice shot. That's a good, nice
nice
left-handed shot. Kikumoto with a nice save.
One of the nice things about that shot is he used his body almost as a screen there. He turned so quick that it was difficult for Kikumoto to follow the ball.
You can see Matheson going up the field there. Aris just didn't want really any part of that, so laid off and let Matheson touch the box. Coming in, Jeremy Reif, number 26, going to settle it down just a little bit while we get substitutions on for BYU. Jerem on the sideline, what you got for us now?
We were talking about Elliot Groh just a minute ago. He has the nickname the Candy Man because he passes out assists as if they were candy. He also visits Josh Austin and his wife Tiffany, who used to work for BYU TV, and he always brings over lollipops just to add to the Candyman moniker. Coming into the game, he had 43 assists, second in the country behind Bryce Wolf of Texas Tech. He was a starting point guard for the Highland Rams and won the state championship in boys basketball in 4A as the starting point guard over the Provo Bulldogs. Chris Collinsworth, who plays for the BYU basketball team, was a junior on that team. Highland, the state champs, and he says as a point guard, that helped him in lacrosse, where he keeps his head up. He's always looking to pass first, and he's not afraid to do that. And this year having a spectacular season. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jerem. And there goes Tyler Wilson, freshman out of Timpview High School. Rich Morey, transfer from Utah Valley University, now playing for the Cougars.
You know, I covered Rich in the fall alumni game. Barely. Barely. He was a really decent player. Here goes I know I haven't lost a step.
And there's Justin Heyer taking his man. That's number 8, Schrader. Gets it back to Austin. Oh, and there's a nice little dodge. Nice shot there by Austin. Nice save there by Jennings, number 7. Miners, number 20, pushing it out of bounds. And the ball is out. And teams will substitute. But we've talked about that before. Elliot Groh, that basketball background, keeping his head up whenever he plays, always looking for the assist. And it's really been beneficial. And with the attack that he has, it's just it's a great combination for BYU this year.
You know, this is going to start getting tough on the Lindenwood defense here pretty quick. Lindenwood probably has had about 2 minutes of possession this entire game right now, and the defense tires faster than the offense.
And 2 minutes might be generous.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, just getting pounded by another team's offense, it gets extraordinarily frustrating.
And here goes Groh. He's a lefty. And there's a nice, oh, and then Austin taking a big hit.
Nice hit.
Taking a big hit there by number 11, Gleisner.
So that's the backside fill we're talking about that wasn't happening earlier.
Yep.
And there was a really nice play there by Brick Cone that will go unnoticed, but he picked up that ground ball. There were 2 guys right on him. He immediately took it back and cleared some space. You can take a look here at this hit on Austin. Good hit.
Boy, great hit. Absolutely decleated. Great hit. That is illegal, and that is an essential part of the game from my view.
He's going to need Tiffany to take care of that tonight. He might need a little back rub after that. There's Manning now over to Heyer. Heyer, oh, I'm sorry, Groh. He's defended there by the long stick midfielder, Bathke. There's a nice look.
Oh, and a great look.
There's your point guard right there, folks. Elliot Groh to Steve Nagley. And Steve Nagley, and again, all these attackmen really benefit from Groh and the vision that he has. But you post up Nagley like that at 12 yards, that's a goal every time.
You know, I saw Groh play basketball and absolutely dismantle East High, which is a team I cheer for here in Salt Lake City. Not knowing that he's a lacrosse player, I didn't know he was a lacrosse player until I came to camp in the summer and saw him out there, and I couldn't believe his skills as a lacrosse player. But I mean, he was an absolute, not only was he on that state championship team, he was a standout on that state championship team.
Clapper controls for Lindenwood. I think that was a case also. I don't think Jenny saw that ball, and the sun is just going down here. It's going to be about another 10 minutes before it's a non-factor, but I think that was right in his eyes as well. So here's Diplock, number 23. Gets it up to 18, Wendling. Wendling over to Dieterle. Dieterle down the right wing, gets it to Giamonetti. And Diplock right out of bounds. And you can't do that, particularly when you're down 8-1 and have had no possession. You can't just throw the ball away.
It seemed like they were just starting to settle in a bit, let everybody get some touches, get into a flow of a game, and then a mental mistake like that will just take you right back out.
So BYU looking to clear. Groh, Mathey, and Weinberger in at the midfield. And Grant Cotterill as well. BYU employing the 4 short sticks on the clear. And here goes Mathey for BYU, number 25. Again, the freshman out of Heritage High School in Littleton, Colorado. Ball checked away nicely there by Bathke. And coming up, that's Elliot Groh. And could not get in the box, and that's 10 seconds. They're claiming that Lindenwood would have possession, but they didn't. And that was a good call by the refs. So now BYU looking to change it up on the ride.
Now let's see if Lindenwood can clear this ball. They just haven't had any effective clears at all tonight.
They're going to give him the ball at the restraining box line or up further. They're going to give him the ball midway between the restraining box and the midfield line. And boy, the Lindenwood player just dropped that one.
Yeah, that wasn't a check or anything.
That was Corsalt, number 13, normally pretty sure-handed player, and he just dropped that ball.
You know, I think what you're starting to see is just a little bit of intimidation. I think Lindenwood is just back on their heels, playing timid, and BYU has just kind of pounced on them early here. That'll play games with your head.
It's a great early slide as Jordan rolled away there.
Jordan McKenzie got it checked away, and now Stewart, number 1, controlling it for Lindenwood, able to clear the ball. Really the first real clear for Lindenwood in this game. Defended there by Mathey.
Hasn't gotten through yet.
And Cotterill and throws it away. Diplock couldn't handle the pass. It's like Stewart really didn't want to continue to take that ball into the cage and tried to let it go.
Yeah, it looked like he had a clean line there right to the cage.
You know, it's tough to say where the ride stops and the settled defense is playing. They really hadn't gotten into a settled situation. You know, it wasn't really a fast break. It probably is going to be scored as a successful ride by Lindenwood, but the BYU ride continued all the way down deep into their zone there.
And there's a nice clear there by BYU. Grant Cotterill handles it. Really could have taken that one into the goal. Nobody picked him up, but he decided to pass it out, settle it down as they substitute midfield. And you got Weinberger, Mathey, and Cotterill, that second line in there for BYU. And the personnel, this is a good look at some of the personnel that's changed this year. Cotterill started as a defensive midfielder, now on the second midfield. Weinberger has worked his way into the second midfield rotation, and Mathey, again, also working his way into the second midfield rotation as well this year. So some guys that have, beginning of the year were at different places are now getting some significant time. And Cotterill defended there by number 47, Waltman for Lindenwood. And Mathey defended by Bathke, the long stick midfielder, who's been impressive so far with anybody that he's drawn. And Cotterill now going against Waltman, brings it to the inside. There's Weinberger with a big shot.
Yeah.
Cotterill smart to bring it out, get it to Austin. So smart play there by Grant Cotterill. As BYU resets the offense higher to Manning. Manning has a short stick Waltman on him, and that's going to spell trouble for Lindenwood.
Wow, Manning changes direction so well.
And BYU's, they're going to get a late hit, so BYU's going to be man up. They're going to be man up. And the reason I think they called that is Manning had enough time to shoot and really turn around and still took the shot in the back. It's probably close, but refs are going to give it to him.
As we talked about earlier, the BYU man-down defense has been so spectacular this year, but their man-up is just equally as good.
Yeah, they're above 50% on their man-up, which is unbelievable.
People don't know about 30% is about what you want to get at, right? 30 to 40% there.
So above 50% is it's an amazing stat to be on their man-up. Well, and it's potent. You got Nagley and Grow, Farron, and then your top attack unit there. I mean, they're deadly when it's even to be man up.
Right in the sunlight.
And just as we talked about that.
Yeah, they may not be deadly on this one.
Goes to figure.
Now let's see if they can clear as effectively man up here. They ought to be able to.
So they bring one long stick in there, Crawforth. So they're matched up man and man. And yeah, Lindenwood just throws it away. Parsons trying to come up with it for BYU. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Paul Saby. Nice little stick work there by Paul Saby. Also out of Heritage High School in Littleton, Colorado. Nagley cuts to the crease. Oh my goodness! Nagley cuts to the crease. The Lindenwood players both slide to Nagley. Austin follows, takes the feed and the nice little behind the back. And I think he has 3 assists for Elliot Grote today.
Yeah. Watch out, Clay.
Just how Coach Lamb drew it up, right?
Number.
You can watch this right here. Now, we talked about the appropriate times for behind the back. That would be one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It That was higher. Is that right?
That was Austin.
That was Austin. Okay, he's losing his angle as he's cutting to the right of the cage. He drops behind his back and he picks up about 3 feet of angle there.
Watterson with the face-off, and again, just Lindenwood has no answer at the face-off X. And I didn't see the Michigan Lindenwood game, but I would suspect that Lindenwood had the same problem against Michigan because of the strength of the face-off team for Michigan. I'll bet that they had a very similar problem where they just didn't get enough possessions.
Michigan is very strong at the face-off, as we saw. But I think that BYU's improvement at the face-off has a lot to do with a lot of the coaching improvements and adjustments that they've made through the year. That's one of the very interesting storylines of this season for the Cougars.
Absolutely, being criticized or at least scrutinized maybe early on because of the number of goals that they were giving up. The attack really never the offense really never in question, as they were putting up a lot of points, but the face-off X and the defense maybe not up to par, and the adjustments that they've made have been phenomenal so far this year. So Lindenwood's going to try and get another one on the board. Dieterle defended there by Watterson. And he's really keeping that stick in the left hand.
Boy, you can tell Dieterle's a big player, and he really wants to bury his shoulder and power through.
There's some nice defense there by Watterson.
Yeah,
that
it's
is
good body position defense. You have to against a player that wants to use strength.
That was a really nice
here we
defensive
go.
series, but nice look here by Lindenwood. Here's Diplock number 23.
Wow, look at him. Look how well he works in that tight space.
Exactly as you talked about. He can get a shot off probably from anywhere.
Absolutely, just really smart use of the defender, using both defenders there as a screen and just threading that shot over the left shoulder of the BYU defender.
You really don't expect this shot right here.
It was a very quick release, too.
Whoop. It's a good shot there by camera crew. Nice job, guys. You can see that ball coming right at you. Kikimoto tries to back it up, but Lindenwood was well in place at that point. So you see the BYU team as they get the timeout, and I'm sure the coaches are telling them to keep working, keep pressing, keep the pressure on. It's easy for teams sometimes at this point in a game. You get an early lead, and then you relax, and then the other team comes back, a couple goals, and then all of a sudden it's a different game. So I'm sure coaches are telling them to keep it up, and Coach Hood, trying to get his team back on top and probably looking to just get one at this point. We got Jerem Jordan again on the sideline. Jerem, what you got for us?
Now BYU is ranked 4th in the country, and after a couple of losses, they don't sit up near the it's near the top, but not quite near the top like a defending national champion maybe should be. And Coach Lamb says, I like being underrated. I'm thrilled that teams think they're better than us, and it's good for my team because we thought we were a little better than we were at the beginning of the year and that we could just roll over people. And personally, I think it's pretty good for the Cougars, and the only ranking that will really matter will be Saturday, May 17th at Pizza Hut Park in Dallas, Texas. Back to you.
Thanks, Jeremy. Actually, it won't be Pizza Hut Park. It will be Texas Stadium. The MCLA Championships is going to be held at Texas Stadium this year, which is, quite a coup for the MCLA and the home of the Dallas Cowboys. As a matter of fact, in the recent MCLA magazine, there's an interview with Jerry Jones about that. So you can see here, coming up at the half, we're going to be interviewing both coaches and then the senior night presentations, and we'll take a look at the stats and highlights from the first half. Now Diplock, defended there by Taylor Red, number 37, gets it up to Aris, number 5. Defended there by Corby Bivens, a senior. One thing about this Lindenwood team is they are fairly young. They're going to be somebody to note in years to come. Stewart gets it up to Corsalt. Corsalt defended there by Carl Arnold, number 7, the long stick midfielder. Matheson tried to come up on Corsalt. Corsalt with some nice movement. Oh, and there's a nice save by Kikimoto. Kikimoto just standing tall, keeping his position.
Just a great redodge there. He drew 2 defenders, and one of them fell down, was able to redodge back to the middle there, and exactly what they need to do to get going offensively in this game.
Corsalt to Eros. Diplock to Giamenetti, number 4. Diplock defended there by Taylor Red, number 37. Corsalt back to the left. Oh, there's a nice look there.
Great look.
Giamenetti can't get the shot off. Nice recovery there by Tyler Saby, number 13. Diplock feeds it in there to number 27, Nix. Ball's loose. Ball still loose. Taylor Red trying to come up with it. Dip block, taking it away. And a nice possession here by Lindenwood, probably their best possession of the half.
Absolutely, this is what they need. You know, that was a great feed to Giaminetti. He was just a little too deep, close down to goal line extended. Oh, and a great feed.
And there's that nifty stick work.
Yeah.
Stewart very quickly gets the feed off. You know, a lot of times you'll see the players, when they come around on that roll dodge, they bring the stick all the way back. They need that extra half a second. But that box training allowed Stewart really to just get that ball in there very quickly.
Yeah, and Brian Nix wasn't in the middle long. It was a really well-executed play. Brian Nix just popped in there, and Stewart read it, got him the ball, and a quick release to the cage. That was nice. And as we watched Lindenwood in warm-ups, it really looked to me like that's where they would be effective, tight into the cage.
Yeah, you watch their stick work. It certainly seemed like their stick work was better than a 20-ranked team, but where they're maybe not as doing as well as certainly at the face-off X where BYU's dominated, and then maybe in areas such as riding and clearing, which are areas that are a little bit different than you'd have to deal with in the box game. And Ryan McComber for BYU on the face-off X. And they're saying that's White held, so the ball's going to go to Lindenwood. Clapper, number 33, gets it over to Corsalt. Corsalt can't handle it. Ryan McCumber trying to knock him out there. Stewart handling it for Lindenwood, and
just as I suspected.
A delay. He's going to get overruled here by the side judge, who's going to say that he did step in. He's going to say that he did step in. Coach is asking about that because he's saying the referee here, the referee that was 5 yards away, should have had that call, but I think Coach Lamb's going to get overruled, and it's going to go back to Lindenwood.
Yeah, and Lindenwood's getting a little momentum heading into the half, which is exactly what they need.
So certainly they want to get another goal or two here at 2:30 left. Giaminetti now, defended there by Brent Parsons. Harris to Corsalt, over to Stewart. Stewart defended there by Mikael Walker, number 48. Nice look there by Stewart. Sabi gets it to Kikamoto. Kikamoto over to Britt Cohn, number 10. Britt Cohn's going to take it across. And BYU will take that clear every time. Britt Cohn can handle the stick.
Yeah, and watch Britt Cohn's head as he comes across. He's scanning the field. He's looking for players to pass to.
It's a perfect clear. As Coach Lamb always says, that if a defender's going to bring it over, you run straight to X and do not stop and allow that double team up high.
So that was a great play there by Britt Cohn. And as we talk about that, there's a shot that goes wide.
Yeah, Elliott's checking his stick after that shot because he went about 5 feet high on the top of the crossbar.
Well, that's what every shooter does.
They blame their stick.
If there's an errant pass or errant shot, you look at your stick. There must be something wrong with the stick. Here goes Jake Farron. And that one goes 5 feet over the cage as well. So he had a nice open shot. There's a nice move there by Jake Farron, just couldn't take the shot. So Heyer now controls for BYU, defended there by Schrader. Heyer tries to roll inside, can't quite get it. Now he's going to try to roll over the top with the left-handed shot.
Wow.
That was a nice shot, just goes high. Looking for a penalty, doesn't get it.
I can't put my finger on it. There's something unconventional about the way that Heyer plays, the way that he holds his stick. The head is just a little farther out from his body than you would normally see from an attackman. You'd think it's a vulnerability, but I think he uses that distance that he...
And he gets knocked down and a flag. So BYU's going to be man up with 51 seconds left here in the game.
What a tough kid.
And that's going to be on 35, Bathke. He's really played a pretty good game, I think, at the long stick midfield position for Lindenwood. Looks like Grove's going to probably come out here for just a second, get replaced on the man up unit.
I just love the way that Elliott Grove plays this game. He's always probing the middle. He's always on the attack.
Well, he keeps his feet moving, which a lot of players, they stop, they get themselves in bad positions because they stop. I mean, they don't keep their feet going. And you can watch how he's always moving his feet. He's always trying to get space away from his defenders. You know, he's always trying to get himself in an advantageous position.
Yeah, but he keeps his feet moving downhill, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's always pressing into the cage.
Now, you can see there the player, number 47, Frizella, he was not in a position there to even come close to winning that faceoff. His stick was a couple of inches back behind, and it was like they're just giving up on the faceoff, and they're going to try and take Watterson off the X right when they blow the whistle. So,
oh boy, nobody
cannot leave him that open.
I don't think Lindenwood knew that they were playing because Farron just walked in there.
Well, you're starting to see some mental lapses by that defense, and I think it's a tough defense in there. They look to me like they have a lot of pride. They're certainly hitting, and boy, they're really being exploited here early. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Well, and you know, having this after playing at Michigan last weekend, they're trying to get a shot off here before too late so that they can. And that's going to be a pass. And so, unfortunately, BYU's with 11 seconds. If they would have held the ball, they actually would have had it with no face-off in the second quarter. But they're going to call that a pass. And I think Coach was looking for a shot there, get it back up, and then at least they could hold it, get the ball going into the second. But now it's likely going to be a face-off unless BYU can quickly get the ball back.
Yes, they may.
That was a smart play there by Frizella, number 49. And so there will be a face-off. BYU will be man up for about 10 seconds.
You know, that is a situation where you may not want to pass on that clear because you don't want to risk the opportunity that ball hits the ground, and then it's an unsettled situation. BYU starts off with it in the second half.
Now the referees are calling something here, and I think they're calling it offsides.
That's correct. I don't know.
And I'm not sure who it's on.
Can't tell.
But they are calling something. So something's we'll have some sort of situation here at the beginning of the third quarter. The quarter is lapsed, but we'll see what they call. I know we're trying to get a hold of Coach Lamb. I think he's trying to find out what's happened here at the end of the half so that he can make a plan here going into the third quarter. You can see the BYU players there, confident and certainly up 10-2, have really had their way with this game so far. But Lindenwood, the last couple of minutes, has really started to settle in a little bit on offense and has had some effectiveness.
Yeah, their offense looked a lot better in the last 5 minutes of that quarter. If they can, you know, carry that over to the second half, you know, they can put some goals on the board and, you know, make this a game.
Lindenwood has talented players.
Oh, yeah.
They really do. What they need, they unfortunately aren't playing in a conference that's developed quite to the level that some of the other conferences in the league have yet. I think that'll come. But what they're doing is important, playing against Michigan, playing against BYU, and seeing the level of talent that they're going to face in the tournament because they'll likely be there as the winner of their conference.
So you can see that. I know Coach Lamb is back with Jerem Jordan. Jerem, Coach Lamb.
Thanks, Coach. What was the discussion here at the end?
They cleared it while man down. So when the whistle blew dead, it would be their ball for the next half. But because they're offsides, it should be our ball. So we'll see what they're deciding. I don't know.
Okay. You hold them to 2 goals in the first half. Talk about, I guess, the defensive momentum that you guys have.
I'll give credit first to the offense for controlling the ball. I'll give credit also to the face-off group for keeping the more of the wins for us. And give credit also to all of them for riding, making it very hard for Lindenwood to get a possession. So if you don't have to play defense a lot, you look good. Now, having said that, though, the defense is playing well.
You scored 5 goals in the first 6 minutes. How important was that to start the game?
Well, maybe the guys responded. Our team meeting was all about the first 5 minutes. You know, maybe I should have talked about 15, but, you know, I'll take the first 5. You know, just coming out, we haven't played well at home on TV. You know, we wanted to have a good night. It's seniors night, last home game. You know, we just got to start right. Well, we started really great, and then we kind of relaxed. So we had that timeout, and I think the guys are responding. I mean, Lindenwood's a good team. You can't do everything right against a good team. So.
Well, so far, so good. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
Marty, back to you.
Great. Hey, thanks, Jerem. We're going to be right back here. We're going to take a quick break, and we've got some halftime activities. You're going to want to stick around for that. BYU leads 10-2. Hey, welcome back. We've got our halftime presentation here. I think it's going to come up in just a minute as we get the PA announcer set up. They're going to do a presentation to the seniors here for senior night. You can see some of the kids on the field enjoying a little bit of time on the BYU field. And,
hey, that's Hutton Murphy.
Right there?
Yeah, how about Hutton Murphy?
Look at that stick. It's like a tennis racket out there.
That's right. That's Clay. It's Clay Murphy's son. It even looks like a Super Light 2 that he's playing with.
He's already got more points than Clay had. Are you kidding me?
Hutton's a great, great, great boy.
So you can see here the BYU team's coming out. There's Coach Hood as he's addressing his team, and they're going to be warming up, trying to get ready as BYU wants to make their presentations to their seniors here. You see the crowd. We've got a great crowd here. It's a little cold, unseasonably cold. It's supposed to warm up about 20 degrees the next 2 days, but a little chilly here tonight.
I'll tell you something about Hutton Murphy. He's a leukemia patient, and he's accompanying the team, it looks like perhaps to the Lacrosse for Leukemia tournament in the spring. And we're very excited for him. He's a good little boy.
Next fall,
right,
that'd be great. That'd be a fantastic opportunity. And you know, for those of you who don't know, they actually have a leukemia survivor in Tyler Wilson on the team this year, and he was part of the presentation there at that tournament. It was an emotional and fantastic time for him and for the BYU team to be a part of that tournament, to play some top-level competition and have Tyler honored. So it's going to be great for Hutton and the Murphy family if that gets to occur for them next week. It looks like they're about ready to go here, and we'll see if we can get hooked up with the PA announcer for the presentation of the senior blankets. I know we're still working on getting that all settled, little technical difficulties, but we're getting it worked out. And you can see some of the players dancing to the music.
This is one of my favorite times of the year, our presentation of the blankets to our graduating seniors. Our first senior, team captain from Bristol, New York, Josh Austin, number 16.
What a great kid, Josh Austin.
Yeah, he's been a great leader this year. Has had a great year so far, and you know, hopefully can continue to carry them as they pursue another national championship.
Goalie number 8 from Greenwood Village, Colorado, Christian Kikamoto, an MCLA All-American.
There's Christian Kikamoto, the goalkeeper for BYU out of Cherry Creek High School in Colorado, and was the state championship MVP when his team played in the state championship back in, I believe, 2001. And he's been a great stalwart back there and has had a great year. And number 21, Corby Bivens, out of Las Vegas, Nevada, has really embraced the leadership role this year, has been a defensive midfielder for BYU, and has really improved his game. You know, someone that came in with not a lot of lacrosse experience, but just had a lot of heart, was willing to hustle and lead this team. Corby Bivens has done a great job.
I think he got linked up with the BYU program through summer camps. Came up here a couple of times in the summer, and then, you know, looking for a school to go to, decided to come on up the program.
So, you know, there's the good and the bad for BYU is they've got 3 seniors leaving. That's all.
Watch out, MCLA.
Right. You take a look. Take a look here at some of the first half highlights for
Wait, you're on the
BYU.
defensive player. White on the defense.
And there's a nice goal here by Heyer. That was a nice bounce shot. There's Austin to Heyer. Austin around the cage with a nice underhand shot. And Manning, the nice little quick stick from Heyer. Elliot Groh to Josh Austin, the senior, behind the back.
Common theme of the attack scoring, doesn't it look like?
Hey, Jeremy on the sideline with Coach Hood.
Yeah, Coach, 2 goals in the first half. How do you put some more on the board in the second?
Well, we've got to keep going to the net and just put more rubber to the net. I mean, that shooting is going to be the key. Possessing the ball is also going to be the key. Ground balls, you know, just coming up with the ball, doing what we do well on offense. We need to start dictating tempo.
Did the sun play a factor at all in the first half?
Played a factor with us, as it always does at this field. We expected it.
And what are some other things you told the team at half?
We told the team to keep playing. You know, don't run out of gas right now. Just keep moving, play the game of lacrosse. It's a beautiful game. We got to keep playing.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Marty, back to you.
Hey, thanks, Jeremy. And, you know, Charlie, you mentioned it early on, is BYU was very intelligent in the fact that they took advantage of the opportunity to play offense in the zone where the sun was not affecting the BYU goalie. So Kikumoto didn't have a lot of issues with that because he didn't face any shots in the first quarter.
They dodged a huge bullet. I really think that Coach probably let them know about that, and the possessions were very important in that first quarter. And I think that was one of the storylines for the game. That was a real danger spot because that son, Christian Kikumoto, could not have been playing at 100% with that son.
So there's a nice clear there by Sabi, and we've got a new goalie in for BYU. DJ Sullivan, number 14, as the man-up unit for BYU is in. However, we are at even strength now. There's only 9 seconds left in that penalty coming out of the half, and we're at even strength. So Josh Austin settles it down, defended there by number 19, Miners. Brian Mathey coming on for BYU, getting a run with the first line. Mathey defended there by number 22, McLean. Mathey gets it over to Austin. And Manny's going to force some action. He's got a short stick on him. That's number 49, Frizella. He was able to dodge Frizella earlier in the first half, but Frizella playing nicely right now. Oh, there's the good thought there by Manning. Just was tough to execute that. Higher to Austin with a nice little quick stick. Doesn't score, and Jennings comes up with the ball.
Lombardi, do you think they're putting a short stick on Manning on purpose?
Well, I'm not. I think it's coming off of the face-off, maybe,
okay.
But you know, I certainly wouldn't recommend that as a strategy.
Very surprised if that's the case.
And Hire smartly settles it down. Farron, if he goes one more to Manning, here's a big shot. Nice save there by Jennings.
Yeah, but Manning loves that top shelf, and I think he's scouted that way. He's got to really put a few shots on the ground and develop a little more diverse arsenal.
And he was a
shot, but it's hard to criticize Manning for anything. He's so good.
He's probably a little bit outside of where he normally is shooting there, but nice shot, nice save there by Jennings. And so nice clear here by Bathke to Corsalt. Corsalt defended there by Farron. Corsalt running right by him. Nice effort there by Corsalt.
You know, that is the first really effective clear that we've seen from Lindenwood. There were 3 passes in that clear. They used each other well as teammates. That's what they're going to need to have in the second half.
And here's Stewart. Defended there by the short stick, number 27, Nagley. And there's some nice movement there by Lindenwood. Stewart drags the stick, Nagley able to get a hold of it. Diplock trying to handle it, can't do it. Coming up with this Britt Cone, a ground ball monster, Britt Cone. Gets it upfield to Mathey. Mathey loses the ball. And just not paying attention to what's going on there. And Mathey gets checked there by Wisniewski, number 16. Britt Cone again on the ground ball. Flips it up to Jake Farron, and Jake Farron mishandles it. And BYU's really got to get it in the box. Oof. And there's some sloppy play in the early goings here in the third quarter by BYU. And if you ask me, they should have got a 10-second call.
Yeah, not sure what happened there.
They never possessed it in the box, but no call by the referee. So Austin defended there by Mertzliff. Gets it over to Hire, defended by Schrader, number 8. Some substitutions coming on for BYU. You've got Mathey, Nagley, and Farron. So Mathey taking a run for Elliot Groh. Mathey defended there by number 30, Perkins. Going down the wing. Mathey rolling inside, outside. Going back to Hire. Hire goes one more. Oh, can't get it through there. Knocked down by number 11, Gleisner. Jennings picks it up. And Lindenwood gets called with the illegal screen, so one of the players must have made contact after Jennings possessed the ball.
Let's go, boys!
Hire moving it up to Mathey. Nagley down the left wing. Gets it over to Manning. Manning with a nice little face dodge. Oh, was looking for the crease. That was Jake Farron on the crease. Unable to get it. And Mathey now controls for BYU at the top. Going down the right wing. Finds Hire. So good movement, good possession here by BYU.
Lindenwood defense looking good. Looking, you know, that early slide pops out, and you know, BYU hasn't been able to do much yet.
And there's Hire going against 2 defenders from Lindenwood. That was number 30, Perkins. And here's Farron, his big shot. Oh, and again, 5 feet over the cage. That's the second time he's done that.
He looks like he's so close into the cage there, he doesn't need to wind up like that, but that's what he likes to do.
And an overhand shot might be better advised there, but I don't think I've ever seen Farron take an overhand shot. But hey, joining us in the booth is a BYU Lacrosse Hall of Famer, Greg Freihofner. And it's good to have Greg here and a lot of other Hall of Famers here during the weekend. And so, Greg, what do you think so far? What do you think? What are you seeing?
I'm really impressed with the caliber of play. It's really fast-paced, and it's the guys are doing a great job. I'm really impressed.
Now, Greg, I'm sure the quality of play was this high when you were playing here at BYU, right?
Yeah, almost, just about. It's been a while.
Greg was one of the first all-league selections from BYU. BYU didn't participate in the league back in the 80s. And I think one year was part of the West Coast Lacrosse League, and Greg participated in an all-star game there, was an all-league selection there, as well as our favorite Canadian, Greg Saunders. So hopefully Greg's listening, and give a shout out to Greg, Beauty, take off. But it's a good weekend. We do this annually. We get the alumni here, and we play a little game tomorrow, and we all hurt on Sunday. So that's kind of how it goes. But a little sloppy here going in the third quarter. Beginning of the third quarter has been a little sloppy, I think, for both teams. There's Higher, and they gave him a loose ball push, which is probably fortunate. Oh, my goodness, we're on camera. That's probably – we've got faces for radio, you can tell there. But this is Greg Freihofner. He's helping with a lot of things with regards to the Alumni Association. We've got a good group, and we appreciate his help and his being here and his insight.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. It's great to see the program move forward the way it has in the last several years.
And Clapper controls it for Lindenwood. Gets it up top. Controlling it is finally number 18, Wendling. Wendling defended there by Corby Bivens, number 21. There's some good movement there. Number 27 forward, Lindenwood. Nix scores it.
It's a great shot. It looks like they're always going to try and feed that crease area there, and it's really going to be their bread and butter. And if they're going to get back to this game, they need a couple more easy goals like that one.
There's that close stick work there by Nix, scoring that goal for Lindenwood. We can take the replay here. Wendling to Nix. Now, this is a good shot. I like this shot. It's an overhand shot. It's close to the goal. He's not trying to wing it over. He just a shot coming down, from high to low, that close is really tough for the goalie to save.
It really is. It looked like Taylor was just a little soft on that. It looked like, he was going to get away with just playing regular defense that close to the goal. He really needed to try and get him off his feet at that point.
So Higher now controls it for BYU, defended there by Schrader, number 8. Gets it over to Manning as the second midfield line, Cotterill, Weinberger, and number 31, Brian Burton, out of Washington on the second line. Brian Burton's got a big-time shot. Some of these young guys, a lot of freshmen here for BYU. And again, that challenge that BYU always has. They don't have a lot of seniors, but they lose a lot of players every year.
Exactly.
As freshmen leave for missions for the LES Church. They'll lose a good 20 guys off of the roster this year to missions next year. So each year is a rebuilding year for BYU as they bring new players in and have players coming off of missions, which next year you've got a good group coming back.
Most notably Dan Cole, I think.
Dan Cole and Tyre will be back as well.
Definitely.
So guys that got a lot of time in their freshman years. And and Darren Shumway, Drew Shumway will be back.
That's right.
So nice play there by the defense. Saby knocking that one down.
I got to give credit to the Lindenwood defense and holding the BYU offense scoreless, for the first 7 minutes or so here in the quarter. And, they really tightened up. They, almost look like a different team at this point.
Yeah, BYU's had very little. They've had some control, but they've been a little bit sloppy in the offensive end. So we'll see what Lindenwood could do here. Here's Corsalt. He's been a good dodger, and he's going against Parsons, freshman out of Timpanogos, number 47. And Parsons has been effective as that kind of that fifth long pole in the rotation there behind Taylor Red, and has got a lot of quality time here. Diplock, number 23, didn't really have a good effort there against Red. So Greg, I know you've got a son that's looking at colleges, and You know, is the MCLA something that is attractive to kids at that age?
Yeah, I think more and more kids from the Northeast, where we're from New York, are interested in these programs. And I think a lot of them, particularly in the last 5 or 6 years, the caliber is certainly right up there with, you know, some Division I and certainly most Division III programs. So I think that kids are really interested.
And it's great for the growth of lacrosse. And, you know, there's a lot of opportunities now throughout the country where, you know, you're from New York and certainly the hotbed back there, but it's good to see the growth out west and, you know, Lindenwood in Missouri, of all places.
Exactly.
So Lindenwood, nice possession here for Lindenwood, and being able to get a couple of shots off, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just working it around, looking to dodge from every single spot on the field, and you know, they're doing a real great job looking to find those real small spots on the crease to get a nice, easy goal.
And Stewart over to Giamenetti, number 4. Giamenetti looking for cutters. Again, been very effective on the crease, has Lindenwood. Dip block. There's a nice shot, but DJ Sullivan right there. And so BYU looking to clear. Taylor Red, nice little face dodge there. Finds Cotterill in the middle, can't handle it. And Bathke, number 35. I've liked Bathke's game today. I think he's played well at the long stick midfield position. Oh, and Tyler Saby takes one right in the ribs. Defenseman always taking one for the team. And here goes Weinberger. He's got a big shot out of freshman out of Jordan. He's like that unconscious three-point shooter. Never seen a shot he doesn't like.
Yeah, I've never seen him take a shot on the run. It's usually just that step down from about 12 yards he'll take every day.
So Burton coming out, Farron coming in. As BYU looking to get maybe that first line back in, Nagley and Brian Mathey. Haven't seen Elliott grow here in the third quarter. Don't know if maybe they're just resting him a little bit. Weinberger coming off, Mathey coming on as BYU settles it down. With 5 minutes left here in the third, BYU leads 10-3. Haven't scored here in the third period. We're leading at halftime, 10-2. Nice move there by Mathey. Big bouncer, bounces it over the cage, but good effort there by Mathey. Now here's a nice clear. That's a nice clear by Lindenwood. Probably their first. Woo! Oh, nice save there by Sullivan. But that was a nice effort by Lindenwood. First fast break opportunity of the game.
Looked great.
Farron almost pushed out of bounds there by Bathke, but runs right by him. It was the thing I liked about that on that clear was Farron just kept running. A lot of times, the young players, they kind of stop and they want to dodge that guy. Just run by him. Protect your stick and run by him. So Nagley settles it down a little bit for BYU. Brian Mathey up top now. Back to Nagley. Nagley getting over the top. Gonna come around with a big right-handed shot. Oh boy, that thing's bounced 100 feet in the air. So that was a nice shot there by Nagley with a little roll dodge back to the middle. Now Lindenwood's looking like they're choosing to press out a little bit more on the defense. There's some nice defense there by number 19. Minors for Lindenwood against Manning.
You know, I think the big difference that the big adjustment that they made is that they're not sliding as quick, and they know that BYU's not dodging as much to go to the goal, but they're looking to feed so much.
Austin, controller for BYU. Higher took that little screen and got knocked down. Don't think he really got knocked down that hard. Trying to draw the penalty. But again, Manning right on him. Jennings just throwing the ball away. BYU's ride is just tough. It's tenacious. They keep going, they keep going, they keep going. Even if BYU doesn't get the ball here, Lindenwood's at risk of a 20-second penalty. They do get the ball. Austin's got it. Throws it back. Finds Dan Crawford. Oh!
Great hit.
Good hit there.
Boy.
Crawford probably took a step he didn't need to at that long stick.
They have another fast break if they can move it.
Good defense by Chris West, just kind of forcing Corsalt to make some adjustments. I like the way Corsalt handles the stick. I think he's been impressive on his dodge. And he's out of St. Louis. Yep. He's not one of the Canadians, and Liked his stick work. Looks like he's a lefty. So Lindenwood getting another opportunity here to possess. There's dip block number 23. That's number 33, Clapper.
First time I've seen him dodge, but he looks pretty good.
Giamenetti over to dip block. That's to Aris, number 5. Stewart, number 1. Going against the short pole. Chris West. Chris West out of the Waterford School in Sandy. Aris now, so good possession here for Lindenwood. Slowing it down, and again, in this third quarter, they have kept BYU off the board. So a dip block now going to the left, defended there by Paul Saby. Some pretty good defense there by Saby. Wasn't able to get a good shot off. Now Giamenetti had the ball right at the corner there at the goal and was able to pick it up and score. Here goes dip block. Oh, can't handle it. Tries to do the Indian pickup.
I think Lindenwood is finally starting to shoot a little bit. And so that was one of the problems that was plaguing them in the first half, is they weren't taking any shots on goal.
Yeah. That was a good shot. DJ Sullivan was up to the task on that. And that's what Coach Hood was mentioning right at the halftime, was they just need to shoot more. You know, get some opportunities to get on cage, but so far, DJ Sullivan in this quarter of work has done a good job. So BYU giving Kikamoto a little bit of a rest. But so far, Lindenwood outscoring BYU 1-0 in this quarter. Getting a lot of different players in.
You can see some of the starters for BYU with their sweats on the sideline, so I hope that's just, hope nothing's wrong with them.
Mikel Walker now going the other way for BYU. There's 36 seconds left. Mikel Walker out of Pleasant Grove, another freshman. So again, a lot of freshmen, a lot of time for BYU, and a lot of these players will be gone next year. Justin Heyer settles it down as they get substitutions on. Tyler Wilson coming in, Rich Morey. Rich Morey, number 1 up top for BYU. 12 seconds left. Coach is looking for a shot.
Rich wasn't attackman, knows how to dodge.
Oh, nice effort there. Higher to Jeremy Wright for under the crease. I think we've got Jerem Jordan on the sideline. Jerem?
At the end of the third quarter, BYU 10.
Maybe not. Oh, there he is. He's working on his mic. Hey, Jerem.
I'm here with Tiffany Austin, wife of Josh Austin. And before we talk about Josh, clarify the Elliott Grow Candyman, nickname.
I actually gave him that name. He didn't have a nickname. All the attack has a nickname, and he didn't have one. So he comes over to our house all the time. He's kind of like our adopted son, and so he pays us with candy. So I was like, oh,
what kinds of candy?
Lollipops.
Okay.
And so I called him the Candyman, and so it just stuck, and so I made it up.
Okay, so he can't take credit, it was you. And he has that as his ringtone now or something, right?
Yeah, he has the Willy Wonka Candyman ringtone, and also the other one, I forget the other singer.
I'm sure there's
Christina Aguilera.
Okay,
yeah.
There's plenty of candy songs. Talk about how you met Josh, kind of an interesting story. You used to work for BYU Broadcasting and do this very thing.
Yep, I did what you do, and I was actually interviewing Josh for a story on the lacrosse team. So that's how we technically met, and then I asked him out after a game. And
you asked him out?
And he turned me down, and because he already had a date, but then we ended up going out after that, so.
Was this, did you do the story planning to ask Josh out, or did it just roll that way?
No, it just rolled that way, but I thought he was the cutest one on the team from the beginning, so I pursued him personally.
Okay, fair enough. And what has this season meant to Josh? He's had a great season, and now he's finishing up as one of 3 seniors.
He loves it. I am so proud of him. He's been awesome this season, so many goals and assists, and he's really a team player. I think he doesn't really care. He always talks about how he doesn't care about the goals. He more wants to just make something happen. So it's going to be sad that this is his last game and I won't get to watch him again, but I'm really glad that he did it all 4 years. So.
Well, Tiffany, thanks for the time.
No problem. Thank you.
Marty, back to you.
Hey, thanks, Jerem. And Tiffany, I think Josh is the cutest one on the team as well. But, what do I know? And we're just happy that the lacrosse team can facilitate eternal bliss. That's one thing that I'm proud of. And Hey, Greg, we appreciate you being in the booth here.
Yeah,
and
thank you very much.
I'll tell you what, if you want to see an old guy that has some serious wheels, come watch Greg tomorrow, 10 o'clock on the Alumni game.
We'll see about that. Thank you very much.
You bet. Thanks, Greg. There's a good look at Josh, and ready to face off here again. That's Watterson and number 10, Metz for Lindenwood.
See, Lindenwood's a lot more excited, you know, obviously playing a lot better in that third quarter, and they get a good face-off there.
So outscoring BYU in the third quarter and winning the face-off. So good effort there by Heyer. Sometimes those guys clearing, they don't pay attention to what's going on. Those attackmen can sneak up on them. So Bathke trying to take it all the way in. Sullivan had it. He was too close, really, with the long pull to take a good shot.
Well, the attack really needed to cut into the cage and give him a passing option there. Instead, everybody spread out on the perimeter, and really his only option there was to shoot.
Take a look there at dip block number 23, and so Lindenwood, I guess they didn't back up the shot. It's going to go to BYU. We'll see how they ride, but so far today, BYU's been very effective in the clearing. And Brick Cone unable to handle it, but just flips it to himself. Now goes up to Cotterill. Okay, that's a nice effort there by BYU, and what Lindenwood did there was they actually put themselves in a bind because they slipped. Oh, there's a nice look.
Great passing.
Higher to Austin. But they put themselves in a bad position by sliding upfield.
Yeah. Boy, great passing. That was a 4-pass combination.